welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. The news this week. North Korea exploded a nuclear bomb which measured 4.2 on the Richter scale. President Kim Jong-il described the nuclear test as a great leap forward, though for most North Koreans it was more of a great leap 2 feet into the air. Kim Jong-il wears platform heels, not because of his alleged lack of height, but because in North Korea they've only just reached 1973. Jack Straw and Salman Rushdie's comments on Islamic women wearing the veil caused controversy. One leading Muslim woman spoke out for her right to wear the veil, but she didn't want to be identified. As a devout Muslim, Salman Rushdie prays 5 times a day, mostly that no one finds out where he lives. McDonald's have said that their sponsorship won't affect the integrity of the London Olympics, although in the 100 metres final, Lane 5 will be closed off for a children's party. In honour of the event, McDonald's are hard at work perfecting their recipe for the new steroid McFlurry. Other fast food burgers have been found to contain worrying amounts of gristle, testicles and artificial additives, as have the Bulgarian women's shot put teams. A government health survey denied there's any such thing as a north-south divide, although there is a sign on the M1 just north of Leicester that says services ahead, last salad for 600 miles. Joining me tonight are 6 of the country's top comedy performers: Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne, Russell Howard, and Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Jeannie Asheray. Welcome to you all. All right, our first round tonight is called Headliners. We'll show you a photo along with the initial letters of a headline. Let's see what you can make of it. Here's a picture of North Korea's eccentric leader, Kim Jong-il, out and about. There he is. So what does KTSW stand for?
Is it Kim's trouser suit? Wow.
Kim Jong-il, the sexy warlord.
Is it Korean Teletubbies starts Wednesday?
But after we let off the bombs, Kim's testicles stopped working.
Does Kim Jong-il just have one big arm that he's winding round his body?
Karaoke tyrant sings Westlife.
Korea's topsoil warm.
I was thinking Kremlin tailor supplies wardrobe.
Is it Korea Test Shocks World?
That's exactly right. Well done, Andy. This is the reaction around the globe after North Korea joined the 9-nation nuclear club when it claimed to have carried out an underground atomic weapon test earlier this week. Are we convinced at this?
Do you know, I saw it first on News 24. I was watching News 24. And it brilliantly on News 24 said, if you would like to know more about the effects of the Korean nuclear test, press the red button.
I'm quite politically naive, but didn't the US go to war with Iraq because they suspected that they had weapons of mass destruction?
Yes.
Yet he's tested nuclear weapons and we're not at war with them.
Well, that's mainly because they've got a nuclear weapon. That's the big, you know...
It actually is, it's a health and safety issue, to be honest.
It's a health
Predominantly, it is safer, and regulations say that you're only allowed to invade a country which has no significant weapons of mass destruction, whereas the ones that have, you know, you're in danger of incurring some sort of loss. So best to leave them alone,
okay.
really, to be honest. and always get somebody to hold the ladder as well. While we're on the health and safety issue.
The whole problem started with George Bush accusing them of being part of the Axis of Evil. And then Tony Blair came in and said, oh, no, it's not an axis of evil, it's an arc of extremism. And what are they going to come up with next, you know? Oh, no, it's a semicircle of mischief. No, it's the wheel of nuisance.
That's the thing, Andy. It's not like China, where they've got all the scientists who used to work in the Soviet Union's rocket programme. North Korea have got the people that used to work on Top Gear. There's a lot of scaremongering, you know, because they say, like, North Korea have missiles that can hit America, but the part of America they can hit is Alaska. I mean, who's going to nuke the Eskimos? You can take out one of their cities with a 3-bar fire and a bag of salt.
The Americans' best guess, though, isn't it, is that they've actually only got 2 nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And they're worried that they're going to attack Alaska you know, but the whole idea is that America have got 10,000 nuclear weapons. Kim Jong-il's not going to go, oh, well, I could attack Alaska with one weapon, and if the Americans retaliate with their 10,000, it's OK, I've still got one left.
Which country has been supportive of North Korea's nuclear
Guernsey.
test?
Well, yeah.
Guernsey, yeah, you're right.
It will be, presumably, Iran.
It is Iran. Iran has said
But
yes.
he's mental, isn't he? President Ahmadinejad, he said in terms of Israel, he said, oh, well, I think the Jewish people, they should go back where they came from. Now, I'm no expert on geopolitics, but I thought the whole idea of Israel was that they are back where they came from.
I think you'll find, Andy, there's a certain amount of dispute about that.
That's probably the basis of it all, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they could just get to the bottom of that little riddle, then everyone would be fine.
I just hope they're watching this show and they go, Parsons has got a point.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What have you been doing?
Near home, what has provoked anger within Britain's Muslim community?
It's Jack Straw, isn't it?
It is, of course, Jack Straw.
Do you see that story about some dick in Liverpool who ripped the veil off a Muslim lady? Do you find yourself going, how great would it be if he'd accidentally picked on a ninja? Hey, I thought she was a Muslim! I thought she was a Muslim! Ninja! Right up his arse.
I like the thing with the veils where you see them in London taking pictures of each other and you think, what is the fucking point? Can you take that one again? I blinked.
They might have new contact lenses, you never know.
But they're always in widescreen. That's great.
It's great for watching movies.
Perfect for watching movies. Sorry.
There was a story, apparently, when idiots see ladies with veils on, apparently it creates fear and resentment. But you find, the only thing I think is, it must be tricky to play hide and seek. Do you know what I mean? Because your peripheral vision's gone, you know? If you were quiet enough and just behind them, they'd never catch you.
So if they're doing, could there be a line of Muslim women just behind, each behind each other, going, and the one at the end goes, they'll never catch me. I don't know what she's smoking a cigar in this scenario.
The issue on the whole veil thing is whether or not it's the woman's choice to wear the veil.
Yes.
That's really the crux of it. And whether or not, because some say they're being forced to do it by men, and others say that they're doing it to try and, you know, sort of express their religious identity. But I don't understand why they can't just have a more tasteful expression of their religious identity, like perhaps an effigy of a dying man nailed to a bit of wood.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
Like that.
You don't have to be as ghoulish as you lot are.
I think all British women would actually like to have a burqa in their wardrobe, though. There are some days, aren't there? You know, maybe the hair's a bit of a mess, you've got spots all over the place. Fuck it, on with the burqa, come on.
I was in a waterslide park in Dubai once, and there's nothing funnier than the sight of a woman dressed head to toe in black cloth sitting in a rubber ring in a waterslide park. There's just something very humorous about it. It just shows a commitment to religion and faith I can't relate to, you know.
Sorry.
Has anyone been, while we're here, has anyone been to Sedgemoor Splash?
No, is it good?
It's great. Well, it's quite naff, but I did a gig in Bridgend. We're in very different worlds, you and me. And I did this gig, and I went, I went to Sedgemoor Splash, it was good. And this bloke went, good? It's the biggest flume in the West. That's pride I can relate to.
Don't go on there! That'd be the biggest flume in the West!
Go on there! But I genuinely, because I couldn't find Wookey Hole, that's why I went there. And I sort of wound the window down and go...
Oh, but that's one of the biggest holes in the West.
That's why I was going there. But I said, excuse me, mate, do you know where Wookey Hole is? And he went, don't want to go there, mate. It's overrated. Kind of wandered off like that.
Have you ever been to Barometer World?
No.
Is it more than it promises to be, or is it exactly what I think it is?
Exactly what you think it is.
If you ever get the chance, go to a safari park in Scotland, because there's nothing quite like the look on the face of a lion that's got to live in Scotland. Oh, this rainy season is going on forever. It's like an animal version of the Shawshank Redemption. I took my pal's wee boy, right, and he's about 6, and it's all just horrible, and at the end there's like a wee otter, and he's sort of making a bit of noise, and I was going, oh, look, he's saying hello to us. And this park keeper came up and went, no, he's pining for his mate. She died last week. That's him crying.
But let me merely say this. Borth Animalarium in West Wales, just next to Aberystwyth, right, is a zoo entirely composed of animals rejected by other zoos. And they're all in segmented cages, so you can't put the pygmy marmosets from, you know, one zoo next to the other, because they will literally tear each other's heads off, right?
What technically is the difference between a zoo and an animalarium?
I think the other zoos ganged up and said, you may not call yourself a zoo, right? We will give you these animals that you can use as long as you never, ever call yourselves a zoo.
I went to a bird zoo in Tunisia. And there was no roofs on any of the cages and no fucking birds.
The genius is, that is entrepreneur. Anyone could set that up, right? I could do one in my back garden and go, well, we don't believe in trapping the birds. Yeah. OK, at the end of that round, points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. We now play a round called Newsreel. We'll play in a recent piece of news footage featuring some of the world's major figures and ask Hugh to provide a commentary. OK, Hugh, this week you'll have a royal theme. Here we go.
Oh, here comes Her Majesty the Queen, resplendent in a curtain. Walking past one of the many Coke machines she's decided must be installed in Buckingham Palace. The Duke of Edinburgh, very fond of impressions. That was a dirty old man. Oh, the line-up. Of course, the point of these is to meet foreign dignitaries. That's President someone or somewhere with suspiciously dark hair for a man of his age. Tony Blair, of course, will at this stage urge the Duke of Edinburgh not to insult the many dignitaries or be racist with them. There he goes, he's saying they may be foreign, but that doesn't make them bad or wrong. Who's next? Oh, it's Gerhard Schroeder. Another man with suspiciously dark hair. Of course, he doesn't use hair dye. He's never gone grey, in spite of his age of 107. The moment coming, Prince Philip's going to meet him. Will he be able to stop being racist? No. And now, here are the reservoir presidents. President Pink of Russia. Oh, and finally, of course, the team photo. The Queen dressed differently, of course, because she is the goalkeeper.
And well done, the points go to Hugh there. Now we play a round called Shtick or Twist. This game involves Gina, Andy, Frankie and Ed. So if you can make your way to the performance area, please. You know, this is our stand-up challenge with the random news generator and all the bank of topics. We spin a wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. OK, here we go. Spin the wheel, please. The first subject is immigration. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Gina.
There's been lots of stuff, BNP going on about all the people coming over, but they're changing their mind every 3 weeks about what they want. 1 minute it's like, blacks, out! Get out! Asians, out! Anyone who ain't from Dagenham, out! And they've got a whole bee in their bonnet about plumbers. These Polish plumbers coming over here, plumbing. But I put it to you, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Dodgy Rog with his arse hanging out? Got to get the parts, and I've got to get the part. Listen, put the tea on, I'll see you in 4 months. Or Vladimir, who turns up at 8 o'clock every day and he'll build you an extension for a tenner.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is health scares. Who's going to come in? Ed.
Well, of course, there's bird flu. Which has killed about as many people as have died of vending machines falling on them. And we're very worried about that. Apparently, the reason we're supposed to be worried about it becoming an epidemic is because apparently this is the science behind it. Somebody could have regular flu, apparently, right? Somebody could have regular flu and then could catch bird flu as well. And then theoretically, hypothetically, scientifically, the two could mutate inside that person and create a super strain of bird flu that's airborne like regular flu, and then there could be an epidemic. It's possible. Why don't these scientists smoke a joint and lighten up? Is it not also possible that someone could have bird flu, eat a chicken wing, and then be given the power of flight? Is that not on the cards? I feel a bit sniffly. I went to KFC, had a chest X-ray, next thing you know, the next stage in our evolution.
Thank you very much, Ed. OK, that leaves it with Andy and Frankie. Let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is America. Who wants to come in on that? Andy.
Well, their president is an idiot. That's all I've got on that one. No, this is the man, right? He wants to try and put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon. Now, the moon is 378,000 kilometres away. Mars, 78 million kilometres away. Trying to put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon is like going to New Zealand by building a stopping-off station at the end of your bloody garden.
Thank you very much, Andy. Let's see what Frankie's been left with. It's science.
My favourite science thing recently was that thing where the European Space Agency had a successful probe that crash-landed on the moon. Now, to me, nothing is that successful if it crashes. That's a bit like saying that you've swum the channel because your corpse has been washed up on a beach. We've now got face transplant technology. Surely the best thing about having a face transplant is that you get to turn up at the donor's funeral and go, whoa. Have you ever heard that science thing that if you put a frog into boiling water, it'll jump out, but if you put it into a pan of cold water and heat it up, it won't realise and it'll die? Or to put it another way, scientists have a lot of time on their hands. Shall we have a go at curing cancer? No, I'm going to see how many fruit pastels it takes to choke a kestrel.
Thank you very much, Frankie. Well done. It's very, very tight. I'm going to give the points to Ed and Andy there. Well done. OK, our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board, 6 categories. For each chosen category, read out an answer and the players have to guess what the question might be. Gina, what do you want? Which category would you like?
Health.
You want to go for health? OK, the category is health. The answer is 24%. What is the question?
In an NHS hospital, what are your chances of having the wrong leg amputated?
Is it England players always claim to give 110% on the pitch? How much do they actually give?
Is it how many car journeys does George Michael actually complete?
It is the percentage of people from Norfolk who've married outside their own families.
Is it how many Americans can find Iraq on a map of Iraq?
What is the proportion of my penis that is medically safe for a woman to accommodate?
How much of what Ed just said is bullshit?
You know what? If only 24% of it was bullshit, then I'm still doing pretty well.
I love the notion. I would love though Dora to go, yes, that is the right answer.
Just a picture of Ed appears like that.
I love the welcome mat at the front.
I've never called it a welcome mat before, but...
Yes, we have vacancies.
My favourite ever interruption. We've got to stop this penis thing, please. Number one interruption there.
Is that the answer?
Please, I'm particularly fond of. Please. Actually, interesting. It is a question about supersizing, but not quite.
Oh, is it to do with how many people in this country are obese?
Is it how many children are obese?
No, it's actually to do how many people are obese. Yes. The question I was looking for. Any guesses?
Is it what percentage of people in Great Britain are obese?
That's exactly what I said.
You said how many? It's technically not a percentage, and I believe the maths graduate here will support me in that.
Yes, indeed.
No, hang on, if I may. If you said what is the percentage, then the answer would simply be 24.
Yeah, thanks.
Instead of how many?
Yeah.
24%.
Listen,
No, I don't think you're right.
Yeah.
Now, Show him your cocky.
Not beat him over the head with it.
With his little movement and your cock, you two could take over the world. Yeah. Please! Keep it vaguely topical. Anything about the news, please. The question I was looking for is, according to a Department of Health survey, what percentage of adults in the UK are clinically obese?
Shocking, isn't it?
It is shocking. This is a recent survey that's saying that 24% of UK adults are seriously overweight, making this country officially the fattest in Europe. That wasn't the reaction the government wished to get.
The reason why we're all obese, right, is that the junk food isn't food. It's poisonous. Because they've just done a survey this week that says you can't exercise off junk
Yes,
food.
they have. It was done in Glasgow, actually.
Well, it's poison. If you can't exercise it off, that's like going, oh, I've been bitten by a cobra. Have you tried star jumps? The best part to eat of a Happy Meal is the toy. Did you know it takes you 4 hours to run off a bag of chips, and that doesn't include stopping for snacks.
Caroline Flint, you see, the health minister said this week that overweight people need lessons in how to eat fruit.
Yeah.
It just would be a great video of just a fat man with a banana just... Why won't you help me, Tony Blair? It's just ridiculous. Because the thing was, apparently they'll then pass that down to their kids. And if you don't know how to peel a banana, you're not allowed to breed. It's that simple.
The Scottish health record has never actually been great, though, is it?
You'll find we're #1 in every horrible league in the world.
Well, we know the Scottish health record isn't great, right? Mainly the men, obviously. The ladies seem to be doing all right. I've seen the adverts. Those Scottish widows.
It's all worked out well for them, hasn't it?
Oh, they'll wear black, but they can't hide smiling that the men have pissed off, have
Yeah, but now people are too fat to bury. Apparently, pallbearers, health and safety, there's a problem because they're getting bigger coffins, and I've heard that families are being turned away from crematoriums because they're too fat to burn. How can you be too fat to burn?
The thing to do with fat people's bodies, right? Fill them with helium, then all the pallbearers have to do is tie a string round the coffin, walk them to the grave. Obviously, you're going to have to put quite a lot of soil on top of the coffin, or they're all just going to bob up, and the graveyard's going to look like some horrendous platform game.
Why don't you just...
The danger is if you go pop, that they'll go and your granny will shoot off into the distance.
But these are too heavy to bury,
They're
which is the problem.
not too heavy to bury.
They're too heavy to carry.
The earth can absorb the weight of the body, right?
They're too heavy to carry.
They're too heavy for 6 people to carry.
Well, why don't they just leave the bodies for a bit? Just bury them. Just bury the bodies after a month or so. That was sort of...
I like the idea of maybe just using forklift trucks. How great would that be? Ashes to ashes, mind out. There you go.
In the north-south divide, Boston is now Britain's most obese place.
Yeah, Boston,
1
Lincolnshire.
in 3 people in Boston in Lincolnshire is exactly obese. Now, I'm wondering if that's because it's in the fens. And it's very low-lying, almost in a dip. You know, once fat people get in, it's very hard for them to get out again. Struggling up these sides.
Yeah, but healthy food tastes rubbish. And, healthy food tastes rubbish, and it's expensive. I tried to go on one of these, like, Carol Vorderman 28-day detox diet, and I managed it for 28 minutes.
If you don't finish the Carol Vorderman 28-day diet, is your home in danger of being repossessed? The government is having to clarify its advice on healthy eating in Scotland, explaining that 5 pieces of fruit and veg a day is per person and not for the entire country. Britain's funeral directors are struggling to cope with the growing number of obese bodies. Not only can they not carry the coffin, but they're finding it hard to prise the rings off their podgy fingers. The points they go to Frankie, Hugh and Gina. Now we come to our final quick-fire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines that you'd never hear in a Bond film.
Ingenious, Q. It's a bomb, but it's also a rucksack.
James, what a wonderful present. Chlamydia.
My name is Bond. Mohammed Bond.
Everything's ready for your mission, Bond. All you need to do is fill in this health and safety risk assessment.
Mr. Bond, have you ever kissed a man?
You're very good at poker, but let's see how you do on the fruit machines.
Here's your new car, Bond. A Ford Focus.
I'll have an egg roll, scrambled, not boiled.
Let me get this straight. There's an evil tyrant at the top of a mountain, surrounded totally by armed guards. Do you know, I don't fancy it.
It's not just a baseball bat, Bond. It's a baseball bat with a nail through it.
Oh, James, is it meant to be this soft?
They're getting away. We'll get after them in this pedalo.
We'd better slow down. There are speed cameras.
I hope you're not going to be one of those Russian agents whose name is just a cheap sexual pun, Miss Suck Me Off.
Next topic is TV shows that never made it to air.
The boy whose arms and arse and head fell off.
He robs from the rich and the poor. It's Robin Hoodie.
And now the magic of Britain's parks at night as Bill Oddie presents Gay Watch.
And now on BBC Two, Jack Straw's What Not to Wear.
I'm Wayne Rooney, and welcome to Grannies Do the Filthiest Things.
Welcome to Blind Date with me, Stevie Wonder.
And now BBC One, it's the Senile Dementia Show. Where do you think you are?
This week on Who Do You Think You Are, Prince Harry traces his family tree with some surprising results.
Let's leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Well done to all of you. Points go to Frankie, Hugh and Gina. That is the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Jeannie Ashery. Thank you for watching. Good night.
It's satirical, it's topical, and it's on BBC4 next. Marcus Brigstocks waiting with the late edition.